Hello everyone, you're welcome to another tutorial. Today we'll be drafting a shoulder dart bustier pattern. I have my pattern paper folded into two, and I have the lines already ruled out. My shoulder line, the bust line, the under bust line, and the waist line. I have my allowance for joining, the sewing allowance. For my shoulder line, I'm making use of 11 inches for my bust line, 11 inches for my bust line, 14 inches for the under bust line, and 17 inches for the waist line, and 1 inch for the sewing allowance. I have my measurement there. The bust I'm working with is bust 42, under bust 34, waist 38. Just as I have said, shoulder to bust 11, shoulder to under bust 14, shoulder to waist 17 inches. The first thing I'll be doing is to insert my bust pan. Bust pan is the distance between one nipple to another. So the bust pan I'm working with is 4.5 inches. I'm going to take that on the bust line. I will take the 4.5 also on the under bust line, and I will do same on the waist line. I will then make it into a straight line. I'll move over to the shoulder line. Instead of taking 4.5 inches, I would be taking 5.5 inches. I'll then connect to the line I've made. I'm taking 5.5 inches on the shoulder line, and I will connect to the 4.5 inches line I've made. I'll then move over to the bust line. I'll be taking half inch. I'll be noting half inch above the bust line and half inch below the bust line. Half inch above the bust line and half inch below the bust line. I will then take my darts. On the under bust line, I'll be taking 1.5 inches on both sides. That makes it 3 inches. While on the waistline, I will take 1 inch on both sides, just like so. I would connect the points together. I will connect. So I'll be connecting that to the half inch below the bust line. I'll be connecting that to the half inch below the bust line. I'll also be taking the darts on the shoulder line. I'll be taking half inch on both sides of the line I've made. I'll be taking half inch on both sides. I will then connect to the half inch above the bust line. I will connect to the half inch above the bust line. Having done that, the next thing now is to insert our shoulder measurements. The shoulder measurement I'm working with is 16 inches. So I'll be making use of 8 inches. The 1 inch that I took out, I'll be replacing it. I'll be replacing the 1 inch that I took out. That makes it 9 inches. Then I would add 1 inch for allowance. So in all, I'll be taking my shoulder measurement on 10 inches. I'll be taking my shoulder measurement on 10 inches. 8 inches for the original shoulder measurement. Then the 1 inch I'll be cutting out for the darts. And I'm making use of 1 inch allowance. That makes it 10 inches. And on that 10 inches, I'll be taking my armhole. The armhole now will now be our chest line. So the next thing for us now is to insert our neck design. The width I'll be taking is 4 inches, 4 inches width. And the depth of 3 inches. After taking our neck design, we will then take our shoulder slope. I'll be making use of 1 inch for the shoulder slope. We'll move over to the body now to insert our circumference measurements. I'm making use of bust of 42. That's 10.5. Then I'm adding 2 inches for the allowance. 2 inches for the allowance. I won't be inserting the under bust measurements. I will move over to the waist to insert my waist measurements. Taking waist of 9.5, then the 2 inches I'll be cutting out. The 2 inches I'll be cutting out, I'm going to replace it. Then I will add my 2 inches sewing allowance. I will then connect to the bust line. Whatever measurements I've taken out on the waistline will accommodate my measurements on the under bust line. I will also move over to the chest line to take the bust measurement. I'll be taking the bust measurement on the chest line. I will then include the little inch we'll be cutting out. The small inch that will be cutting out for the darts, I will then include it back. So I'll be connecting like so. After taking our measurements, we'll move over to the armhole. I'll be moving over to the armhole. I'll be determining the midpoints. On that midpoint, I'll be going in by 0.25. We take our armhole curve. So our pattern is ready. On the shoulder line, I will just be increasing by 0.5. I will be increasing by a 0.5 for my allowance, for my sewing allowance. We can then cut out. So after cutting it out, we now have the pieces, the middle piece and the side piece. So the next thing for us now is just to transfer our piece on our pattern, on our fabrics, and we'll cut out on our fabrics. So when cutting out, just make sure you don't have sharp edges around the bust area. Make sure you don't have sharp edges around the bust area. You can see that our pattern is ready and very simple and easy to make. Thank you very much for watching. If you are yet to subscribe, kindly subscribe to my channel and I will see you on my next one. Thank you. Bye.